Alright everyone, welcome back once more to another go of Muv-Luv Alternative. It seems like tensions are pretty high right now with all that's been going on, and a particular decision may change what may happen in this upcoming ep and the following eps to come. So yeah, with anything else guys, hope you all continue to enjoy. Thank you again for your love and support, and let's continue on.
急げ、殿下がお呼びだ。
Huh?
殿下、白金健を連れてまいりました。ご苦労でした。下がりなさい。はっ。
Thank goodness, she looks much better now. Her complexion's starting to improve. I guess letting her lie down must have sped up her recovery.
白金、ここへ。
Okay. How should I position myself though?
どうしました？楽になさい。
Like, do I get down on one knee or what? Sorry, excuse me. Guess I'll just sit down.
このまま話す比例を許すがよい。身を起こすと少々辛いゆえ。
No, it's okay. I'm not really that good with etiquette myself, so it doesn't bother me.
本当にそなたは面白い男ですね。
Yeah, sorry about that.
謝るのはこちらの方です。私が不甲斐ないばかりに、そなたにはいらぬ苦労をかけましたね。
Not all, Your Highness. You've held up incredibly well, to be honest. I'm genuinely impressed by your mental and physical strength. Even with a fortified suit on, it wouldn't have made a difference without her existing feedback data. I'm amazed she endured it as long as she did.
そう言ってもらえるのは助かります。
It's only the truth. But in any case, Your Highness, what did you need to see me for?
神代から状況は聞きました。時間が来る前に、そなたと少し話がしたかったのです。
Of course. Not sure if I'll be of much help, though. It's not like I have much of a say in planning out the operation anyhow. If I wasn't talking to her right now, I'd probably just be sitting by myself mulling over things I'd rather not think about. Going to see the others didn't really help. If anything, it made me even more stressed out. It's nice to be able to talk to somebody who isn't quite so directly involved in the mission itself.
そなたはどうなのです。疲れていますか？
To be honest, it's starting to wear me down, yeah.
それも致し方ないことでしょう。訓練半ばの身で、このように困難な作戦に従事しているのですから。
Well, I mean...
戦果を帝都から遠ざけるためとはいえ、そなたたち訓練兵を矢面に立たせてしまったこと、残念でなりません。
Hey, we're just doing our duty as agents of the UN military. You don't need to worry about us.
それにしても、その黒い強化装備といい、卓越した操縦技術といい、つく読みの名を聞くまで、そなたが訓練兵だとは思いもよりませんでした。
Oh, yeah, sorry for not making that clear. They're always low on the white fortified suits for male cadets, so they just issued me a standard pilot one for the time being. After the debate invaded Japan, the IJF started conscripting women and lowering the draft age for men. But by the time the UN forces were stationed there, almost everyone getting conscripted was female. The soldiers back on the base all make fun of me for it because it makes it look like I got demoted and forced to repeat basic training again.
そうですか。されど、戦術機起動における突出した発想と柔軟性、国連軍正規兵とて、そなたに被験するものは稀でしょう。
Really? I don't know. I feel like you're giving me too much credit.
鎧がそなたの期待を押したよし、特進しました。
Oh, thank you very much.
礼を言わねばならぬのは私です。そなたに心よりの感謝を。
No need to thank me. I'm just doing my duty.
当然ですか。
Huh? Well, yeah.
本来ならばそなたの技能、人類の旧敵ベータを打ち滅ぼすために用いられるべきもの。そなたのみならず、こたびの騒乱に用いられているすべての将兵、物資もしかり。それが このような形で失われていくのは残念なことだとは思いませんか？
What is she trying to say? Could it be that Her Highness, that the Japanese head of state, is one on the same wavelength as I am about all this? To be honest, I really do think it makes sense for the UN to be stepping in and helping via this operation. After all, ensuring Japan's governmental stability is in the interest of Alternative 4. But still not what I would consider ideal. In all honesty, I can't stand the fact that we're wasting our time on this. Because personally, I only want to spend my time on whatever's most beneficial to mankind as a whole. And to be fair, I'm sure all the various countries and organizations wrapped up in this mess do think they're acting in humanity's best interest. Until we get rid of the beta, we don't really have a future. I'm sure everyone knows that regardless of which side they're on. That goes for the Japanese government, the UN, the US, and the rebels, myself, my squad, and obviously Her Highness. I'm pretty sure every single one of us is fully aware of what we're up against here. But if that's the case, why is this even happening? We all share a mutual objective, but I don't think it's just a case of differing values causing differing methodologies, like Maya said. I mean, what if our clashing methodologies are what prevent us from achieving that objective?
私は先ほどから考えていたことがあります。
What's with the sudden change of topic? Is it because I never answered her question?
何故あの時、そなたがトリアゾラムの投与をためらったのか。
I never thought Her Highness would try to broach that topic. It's something I didn't really want to talk about, honestly. It goes right to the heart of the uncertainty I'm feeling right now. In fact, it's what made me realize I had doubts in the first place.
その時のアメリカ軍指揮官とつくよみのやりとりは朦朧となりながらも聞こえていました。アメリカ軍指揮官の言葉、あの者の立場では正しいとそなたは思いませんか？
No, I do. I do think the Major made the best possible call in terms of completing the mission efficiently. Even if it happened to prioritize American interest, it was also the most realistic way to bring a swift end to all this Japanese infighting. And since preventing humanity's defeat is my ultimate objective, it seemed like the ideal course of action from my perspective.
では、あの時のつくよみの言葉はどうでしょうか？そなたはあれの言葉をどう受け取りましたか？
From my point of view, Tsukuyomi's argument seemed more emotionally charged and less coldly logical. It kind of felt like she was giving pride and honor so much weight that she wasn't able to keep an open mind. But even so, I can't disagree with any individual point she made, especially when you consider the duty she's devoted her life to. I think she was right.
双方正しかったのであれば、そなたは何故アメリカ軍の将校ではなくつくよみの言葉に従ったのですか？
Well, because Major Walken's orders just didn't sit well with me. I mean, I didn't exactly obey Tsukuyomi-san either. I just hesitated, and she happened to get her way. As a soldier, I'm supposed to consider my superior's orders to be absolute. So why didn't I? Was it because I just don't like how the US is handling things?
本州を奪還し、国連とのさらなる関係強化が国の基本政策となって以降、手段が目的を凌駕することが日常化し、政府や軍は本来あるべき姿を見失っているように見える。政府は民をないがしろにし、将軍家を傀儡に貶めた。己の都合や利益のみを考える輩が国を蝕んでいるのだ。そこから民を、将軍家を、そして国を救い出そうというのが彼ら決起部隊の考えだ。
Or could it be that I'm actually feeling sympathetic to Captain Sagiri's cause?
まずはベータを倒して戦争を終わらせるべきだろう。人間同士のいざこざなんて、その後で好きなだけやればいい。
理解できぬのなら、足ざまに断じるでない。
This is hopeless. I'm just thinking in circles here, damn it. If this were something I could figure out on my own, I would have found my answer a long time ago. For now, I've decided to just focus on getting through this. I just have to keep moving forward. So please, don't force me to keep thinking about this.
無理に答えずともよい。
Huh?
白がね、そなたはその優れた資質ゆえにいつか人の上に立つこともあるでしょう。
Me? A leader?
人の上に立つということは多くの責任を背負い、多くの決断を下さねばならぬということです。国家や組織はそのよって立つところが違えば、おのおのに理想や信念が異なるもの。それは人も同じです。何かなそうとすれば必ずそれを良しとする者と悪しとする者がいるでしょう。されどそれぞれの立場に立って物を見ることができれば、おのおのがよりどころとする正しさも見えてきましょう。
After all that I've been through, I can say with confidence that I know how hard that is. Especially this time around when all of these different viewpoints keep popping up left and right.
そして悲しいことですが、それらすべての者たちの望みを満たす道が常にそなたの前にあるとは限りません。その時そなたは何によって決断し、どのような道をかの者たちに指し示すのか。
You listen to your convictions. You lean on your core beliefs. I can tell that's what she's getting at.
その時もしそなたに迷いがあったなら、原点を顧みること、立ち止まる勇気を持つのです。
I knew it. Look, it's not like I don't have a reason to fight. I swore I'd save all mankind, didn't I? Nothing could possibly be more important than that. And yet, here I am spinning my wheels like an idiot.
そして自らの手を汚すことを厭うてはならないのです。
Bloody my own hands?
道を指し示そうとする者は背負うべき責務の重さから目を背けてはならないのです。私はあの時流れに身を委ねたわけでも、己が死をもって責任を果たそうとしたわけでもありません。私が信ずる正しさに従い、トリアゾラムの投与が最良と判断したのです。
In a sense, I betrayed that old woman at Mount Tengen, but at the time, I believed the decision I made was in the interest of the greater good. I justified it to myself by saying I didn't want to waste what little time we had left before Alternative 5's implementation. But if I really believed that, if I really thought saving every possible second matters above all else, then I should have given Her Highness the Jerusalem, and yet I couldn't do it. Could it be that I just didn't want to have to do the dirty work myself? Is that what she's trying to say? Well, was I just afraid of having her blood on my hands? Is that really all there is to it?
私の話はそれだけです。休息中に大義でした。下がるがよい。
Excuse me? I was too afraid to do the dirty work myself, huh? Yeah, that probably had something to do with it. No, it totally did. It wasn't just that she was Mia's sister. It was that she was a living, breathing human being. I couldn't make a decision that might end up putting her blood on my hands.
どうしました？もう下がってよいのですよ。
And even though there was a chance that old lady at Mount Tengen would die in their relocation, I knew I wouldn't have to be the guy forcing her out of her own home at gunpoint. The whole time I've been blaming this on my lack of the conviction, but that's nothing more than a cop-out.
城がね。
It's not a matter of experience or know-how. Even if you have a ton of both, if you can't bear the thought of having to do something yourself, you don't deserve the responsibility. So basically, I can't make any real decisions.
何か申したいことがあるのではないですか？
No, there isn't. I shouldn't waste Her Highness's time with this. I better head back to my post.
偽るでない。そなた、私を侮っていますね。
I would quite prefer it if you were. Huh? Wait, what? I really wasn't trying to insult anyone.
そのような険しい顔をして何もないと申すのですか？
I may not be in charge of anybody, but I have been put in a position where I can greatly influence the future of all humanity. And since Her Highness has an entire country resting on her shoulders, I might just benefit from taking this out with her. But can I really impose on her like that?
今さら何を遠慮しているのです。そなたのような態度で私に接した者はこれまで一人としていませんでした。
I had a feeling that was what she meant. Sorry.
よい。私はそなたのその気安さが逆に心地よいのです。
Yeah, Maya told me something like that too, come to think of it.
メイヤもあの者もそなたのそういったところに気を許すのでしょう。
A lot of the stuff that's considered common knowledge in this world is totally foreign to me. That was definitely one of my biggest weak points when I first came here. But see, because of that, because I didn't know Maya was related to the Shogun, I didn't have any trouble getting close to her.
こたびそなたの世話になった分、あの者が世話になっている分、ささやかですが、返させてもらえませんか?
Man, if only she had, Kasumi's, is it Kasumi? If only she had her psychic abilities. The idea of imposing on the Shogun herself like this feels really awkward. Guess this world's starting to rub off on me a little, huh? But I might never have another chance to talk about this with someone who bears such a large responsibility on her shoulders. I feel like if I don't take this opportunity to talk to her now, I might regret it later. For some reason, I think the two of us can have a frank conversation about this without the risk of misunderstanding or upsetting each other.
私では力不足でありましょうか?
Well, okay. If you insist. So, I know this might sound weird coming from a UN military cadet, but I'm feeling conflicted by what I think is a lack of patriotism for my own country. I do think I understand why Captain Sagiri would go so far as to cause an uprising in order to bring change to Japan. But I just can't see why he'd choose to do it now of all times. To be honest, well, I just feel like there's something much bigger at stake here than all of that.
そなたの言う大切なものとは?
Exactly what you said a moment ago, Your Highness. We should be focusing all of our strength on defeating the beta. But that's not all I'm trying to say. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like it's the sort of thing you can make sweeping generalizations about either. This is so frustrating. If only I could tell her everything that's happened. There's nothing wrong with being concerned about Japan's future, but can't it at least wait until we defeat the beta? Because if humanity loses, there's not going to be a future for Japan. Even a 5-year-old could understand that.
そうですね。
And yet, we still get America and the UN trying to advance their own agendas. At the very least, they're clearly not making much of an effort to genuinely unify humanity against the beta. You'd think they'd understand what we're up against here. And yet, none of them are even acknowledging that we're staring total extinction in the face. They can't even imagine what losing to the beta will mean for us as a species. I mean, it's all just hypothetical to them, you know? And that's just not good enough. They have to understand that we could be defeated at literally any moment unless we take action now. Damn it, why is it so hard to get this across?
白金、少し落ち着くがよい。
Oh, right, sorry. Didn't mean for that to turn into a rant. Guess I've been bottling this up for so long I kinda went off on a tangent, and yet she just listened the whole time, even though I'm sure she's still feeling pretty sick. But you know, I think I'm actually starting to feel a little better now. Never underestimate the value of having someone to vent to. This might be the first time I've felt this sense of relief since the timeline reset.
一つ聞きますが、
Oh, sure thing.
そなたは何故愛国心が足りないと思うのでしょう?
Maybe you already know this, but everyone in my squad has some sort of unique baggage. I'm pretty sure Tsukiyomi-san would have told Her Highness who Meia's squad mates were, but oh well. They're all girls except for me, but every one of them has some sort of connection to this country's national affairs, if not directly. We're all enlisted in the UN military, but every time I talk to them, I can tell how strongly they feel about their Japanese roots. Like when Maya saw the news about the rescue effort at Mount Tengen, she was furious about the way they ignored the will of the people living there. We kinda got into an argument about it. Hell, when this uprising first broke out, I said this wasn't the time for petty infighting, and someone actually told me I sounded like an American sympathizer. That's someone being Tsukuyomi-san. I guess they felt like I didn't care enough, like I wasn't worried about my own country. If Tsukuyomi-san thought I was talking like a US sympathizer or that I simply didn't care about Japan's affairs, it's possible that I'd sound that way to any Japanese person in this world, even my own squad mates. So I started thinking about what might give people that impression of me, and wondering if I just see the world differently from then on a fundamental level.
その違いが愛国心なのだとそなたは思うのですね。
Well, you could call it conviction or a set of core beliefs, but I can't tell her about everything I've experienced. That's probably close enough. Yes, I think deep familial ties they have to Japan as a nation might be a big part of why they're so strong.
国との深い因縁。先ほども言っていましたね。
Huh? You mean she doesn't know? But I thought Tsukuyomi-san would have... No, wait. I guess if Her Highness had been briefed on the members of Maya's squad, she would have known about me already. But she's given no indication of that being the case. Was not telling her an intentional move on Tsukuyomi-san's part? Did she just not see a reason to considering there was almost zero likelihood of anything like this ever happening? Well, you already know about Maya, obviously, but we've also got the daughters of the UN Undersecretary Tamase, ex-IJA General Ayamine, and even Chief Yoroi.
なんという。まさにこたびの件にただならぬ因縁を持つ者ばかり。
You'd have to be pretty in the know to be aware of that, but I guess it makes sense she was in the Imperial Palace until just recently. They probably briefed her on all of this. Guess she just didn't connect the dots as to how our squad tied into it.
驚きました。まさか、鎧の娘までも。
That's not all though. We've also got the daughter of the late Prime Minister Sakaki. That's genuine shock on her face. Guess she really hasn't been told anything about our squad. So yeah, since everyone here is tied to this debacle in one way or another, it's been kinda like walking on eggshells around each other.
それは無理からぬことでしょう。
And yet, the squad's still functioning normally. I think that's got less to do with our military training and more to do with this deep-seated sense of patriotism they all have. Was this really a good idea? I don't know about Tama or Aimina's dads, but Her Highness definitely knows Chief Yoroi and Prime Minister Sakaki. It can't be easy to know their daughters are out there fighting to protect her.
そうでしたか。
Maybe I shouldn't have brought up Class Rep's dad after all. What was that even going to accomplish, other than giving this exhausted woman yet another thing to worry about?
白金、そなたに頼みがあります。
Huh? Okay, what is it?
皆をここへ集めてください。
Huh? Everyone?
そうです。国連軍、アメリカ軍、近衛軍、すべてのものです。
Why does she want to rally the troops? She isn't planning to apologize to everyone, is she? Your Highness, I know we're on break, but it might be tricky to gather everyone here. And I mean, as a cadet, I don't even have the authority to.
アメリカ軍の指揮官に、私の命令だとお伝えなさい。良いですね。
Yeah, I can relay the message, but...
時間がありません。急ぐがよい。
Understood. I'll get going then.
敬礼。殿下、この度は拝謁の栄誉を賜り、恐悦至極に存じます。私は当任務部隊の指揮をしておりますアメリカ合衆国陸軍第66戦術機構大隊所属アルフレッド・ウォーケン少佐であります。
Tsukuyomi-san's guarding Her Highness, and Lieutenants Bisu and Tomoe are patrolling the area, which means that Lieutenant Kamio must be on high alert in her TSF. The one missing American surface pilot is probably doing the same. Her Highness did say to gather everyone, but I guess even during a ceasefire, we can't leave ourselves totally defenseless.
ウォーケン少佐、このような下級の折、皆を呼び寄せたことをお詫びします。
恐れながら殿下のご要望に背き、数名の者を保証の任に当てておりますことをお許しください。
気になさらぬがよい。そなたの任務は理解しているつもりです。
は、ご後輩恐れ入ります。
Everyone's on edge right now. Not that I can blame them. They may be UN military cadets, but they're still Japanese. To see the Shogun with their own eyes like this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Although, I didn't think Maya would also volunteer to remain in her TSF. Manimo-chan wouldn't allow it because of her lack of experience, but she did send her out on a foot patrol instead. I'm assuming she was being considerate of Maya's relationship with the Shogun. I know Maya wants to stay true to her family's customs, but couldn't you make an exception at a time like this?
冒険少佐、こたびの我が国に対するアメリカ軍の尽力、日本国将軍として心よりの謝意を表します。
Huh? Her Highness is bowing down to the Major?
なんと恐れ多い。殿下、そのような。
I know this is a crazy situation, but for the Shogun to be lowering her head to an ordinary officer, that's just nuts.
そして、すべてのアメリカ軍将兵の献身と義勇に、日本国将軍として心よりの謝意を表します。
Not just the Major, but to all the surface pilots too? Is this why she had me summon everyone here?
冒険少佐、そなたの部下と話をしても構いませんか？
They're exchanging puzzled glances with one another. They must be pretty confused about the situation, but I think they recognize just how meaningful it is for the Shogun to bow her head.
恐れながら殿下、そのお言葉を賜っただけで十分です。世界秩序と国連協調体制の維持に邁進することは、人類社会の一員である我が合衆国に課せられた責務であります。そして私たちは合衆国に忠誠を誓った軍人、与えられた任務を達成することに全身全霊を傾けるのみであります。
What the Major is saying right now sounds more like an empty formality at this point. We all know how he really feels about Japan after all. But to be fair, what's happening in Japan right now definitely isn't helping to maintain world order or unify humanity either. There's no denying that.
我が作戦部隊は必ずや殿下を無事に横浜基地までお連れいたします。お許しいただけるのであれば、私の部下へのねぎらいはその折に賜りたいと存じます。
わかりました。面倒をかけます。
は、お任せください。
America tends to take coercive measures and use aggressive tactics, but the fact remains that every surface pilot here is risking their life, just like the rest of us. In that sense, there's no real difference between us. The Major and his battalion didn't cause this rebellion. None of the Americans being sent out to spill their blood on this battlefield had a hand in planning it. Excuse me. The ones who did plan it are safe and sound back on American soil.
そう。制裁難民が市民権を得るには、軍に入って除隊まで務め上げるしか方法がないのよ。だから、今回派遣されている部隊のほとんどの人間が、私と同じ戦災難民からの志願兵。お偉いさん方を除いてね。
All of the American soldiers here are people like her who would have been displaced, just like that old lady at Mount Tengen. Hell, even the Major's putting his life on the line out here, and he's an American citizen. So I'm sure they can all appreciate the Shogun expressing her heartfelt gratitude to them. And given her position, I think it's incredible that she can humble herself and bow her head to them like that. It's definitely something worthy of respect. But for Tsukuyomi and others, or hell, any Japanese in the world, this must be hard to watch. I only know bits and pieces of the messy history between Japan and America here, and even I felt a little annoyed seeing that. Objectively speaking, America had to back out of the security treaty in order to protect their interests. But from Japan's point of view, the US ran off and abandoned them, then came back when they saw a chance to profit. And now the Shogun's bowing her head to the soldiers that can't be easy to accept. And I'm sure Her Highness is fully aware of that too, so why did she deliberately summon everyone here to see it? If this is a response to what I told her earlier, I feel like I might have done more harm than good.
では冒険少佐、国連軍部隊の指揮官をこれに。
は、神宮寺軍曹、
そなたは？
国連太平洋方面第11軍横浜基地所属神宮寺マリモ軍曹であります。
神宮寺軍曹、こたびの国連軍の尽力、日本国将軍として心よりの謝意を表します。アメリカ軍と合流するまでの間、訓練部隊を率いての作戦遂行、誠に難儀でした。
はあ、身に余る光栄にございます。
して、かの者たちがそなたの部隊の英士ですね。
はあ、第207英士訓練部隊所属の6名、いずれも日本国籍を持つ訓練兵であります。
訓練兵でありながら、このような困難な作戦に従事するとは、さぞや辛いことでしょう。我が国のこたびの混乱、すべてこの勇妃の力不足に端を発すること、同じ日本人として国を預かる者として心よりお詫びします。
I had a hunch she might do this, but bowing to a bunch of cadets, really?
そんなでか
Everyone's speechless. Not that I can blame them. Unlike me, they were born and raised in this world's Japan. This sort of thing is practically unheard of.
殿下
Huh?
大丈夫です。下がりなさい、つくよみ。神宮寺軍曹、そなたの部下と話をしてもよいでしょうか。
はあ、どうかご随意に。
そなたのお名前は？
はい、榊千鶴訓練兵です。
そうですか。そなたが。榊コレチカ殿は私の中心でした。常に日本の行く末を案じ、ことに望んでは滅私の精神で奮闘する傑出した政治家であり、大人物でありました。コレチカ殿の生き様には私も学ばせていただくことばかりでした。こたびのご逝去、感慨の念に堪えません。ご無念いかばかりかと心中お察しいたします。
恐れ多いお言葉です。
すべてはこの私の責任。そなたにはお詫びのしようもありません。
父は殿下と帝国の民に仕える政治家としての職務に準じ本懐を遂げました。決して殿下の責任では。
Her Highness just took Class Rep's hand in hers.
申し訳ございません。
She isn't letting go, just watching quietly as Class Rep hangs her head. I hope this gives Class Rep some small amount of closure.
深い悲しみのさなか、重責に耐え、多大な尽力をいただいていることに感謝いたします。
もったいないお言葉です。
どうか今しばらくの間、こらえてください。
はい。
そなたのお名前は？
はい、玉瀬美希訓練兵です。
Tom was already in tears just from seeing Class Rep break down like that. Can't say I'm surprised though. She's still scared that her dad might be the one responsible for all of this.
そなたが玉瀬玄城斎殿のご息女ですか？
殿下、父をご存知なのですか？
はい。これまで幾度か事務次官が日本においでの際、お目にかかる機会がありました。お父上はご創建でありましょうか？
はい、
先日横浜基地の視察で来日した際に会いましたが、とても元気そうでした。
それは何より国連の事務次官職は激務と聞き及びます。そなたも心配でしょう。
はい。
今時大戦における日本の戦略的位置は非常に重大ゆえ、我が国をめぐる政治的な背景は複雑を極めています。それゆえそなたのお父上は往々にして厳しい立場にお立ちになることでしょう。
Your Highness.
されどそなたのお父上のたゆまぬ努力によって日本にもたらされる功益は決して小さくはありませんよ。私と同様、さぞやそなたもお父上を誇らしく思われていることでしょうね。だからこそそなたも国連軍に身を置いているのでありましょう。
ありがとうございます殿下。
お父上と共に国際社会に奉仕する道を選んだそなたは立派です。こたびのご尽力にも感謝いたします。
ありがとうございます。
私の力不足でそなたにまでかような重責を負わせることになり残機に耐えません。しかしながら今しばらくこらえてください。
That little pep talk is gonna wipe away all of her uncertainty, even if it is coming from the Shogun. But hopefully, she feels at least a little better now.
そなたのお名前は？
はい、鎧巫訓練兵であります。
She's probably nervous too, but she's certainly not letting it show.
そなたのお父上は鎧左近殿でしたね。
殿下、なぜ僕、いえ、私の父をご存知なのですか？
Oh crap, Her Highness doesn't know that Chief Yoroi keeps his true occupation a secret from Mikoto. If she were to find out now, she'd...
何でもそなたのお父上の会社は城大将の指定業者だそうで、幾度となくお目にかかっています。
そうだったのですか。父の会社が城大将御用達ですか。
はい、お父上の貿易会社には国内では入手困難となった物品を納めていただいています。
I see, so that's the official story, huh? Come to think of it, Mikoto did say something about him doing contract work overseas. Anyways, damn, Her Highness is totally on top of things. That makes sense, of course. She might be young, but she is the Shogun. She's probably way better at keeping track of all these secrets than I am.
あ、はい。でも私は父が何をしているのか正直よく存じませんので。
そなたのお父上は職務上さまざまな政府の重要施設に出入りする身、城大将しかり帝都城もまたしかり。さすれば相応の守秘義務を課せられるのは致し方のないこと。そなたのお父上はそれを守っているに過ぎません。
あ、はい、それはそうですね。
加えてお父上はひょうひょうとしてつかみどころがなく、難解な話も多々あるゆえ、たとえそなたに話をしていたとしても伝わるかどうか。
殿下にまでそのような失礼な父をお許しください。
良いのです。そなたのお父上のそういった性分に私は随分助けられているのです。
父が殿下を？
はい、お会いするたびにお聞かせいただく海外の面用な土産話や感激で日々の辛労を拭っていただいています。
殿下にそうおっしゃっていただけると父も喜ぶと思います。最近顔を合わせていませんが、私も安心しました。
そうなのですか。あまりお会いになって。
Shifiora did come to the base recently, but he never went to visit Mikoto. Hell, even today he could have easily swung by to say hi if he wanted to.
それを聞くとつくづく私の力不足を痛感します。かような事態を招き、そなたとお父上をますます遠ざけてしまいました。
いえ殿下、決してそのようなことは。
Mikoto doesn't know just how much her dad is doing. He helped the Shogun steal away from the capital, then returned immediately to try and bring the situation under control. All the while his daughter was only a few hundred feet away, and yet he just went back on his own, even when he knew it might be his last chance to see her. Her Highness can't tell Mikoto about any of that, so that's why she's apologized the way she did.
ましてやそなたは国連軍の訓練兵。かような困難に直面させていること、重ねて感謝いたします。
私は国連軍所属ですが、殿下のお力になれるのであれば、それは私の誇りでもあります。職は違っても、それは父も同じだと思います。
心痛の至りではありますが、今しばらくこらえてください。
はい。
そなたのお名前は？
はい、綾峰系訓練兵です。
私の不徳がかような事態を招き、そなたのような訓練兵にまで過酷な任務を課す始末。こたびのこと申し訳なく思うとともに、心より感謝いたします。
いえ、任務ですので、どうかお気になさいませんよ。
いえ、任務という言葉に置き換えたとしても、将軍としてかような事態を招いた責任は消えません。ましてや飾りであるとはいえ、私は帝国軍の総司令官であり、そのための教育も受けてまいりました。訓練半ばであるそなたたちを戦場に赴かせることが統率の正道であるか否かは考えるまでもありません。私はこれまでに幾人かの将兵に指示しましたが、いずれの死も今のこの状況を嘆かわしく思っているに違いありません。人は国のためにできることをなすべきである。そして国は人のためにできることをなすべきである。
That's what Ayumina's dad used to say, isn't it? Why would Her Highness know that?
とある師の教えですが、この言葉は常に私の心にあります。
Wait, was he one of Her Highness's instructors? Ayumina never mentioned anything about that. If that's true and Ayumina herself didn't know about it, then maybe the fact that he mentored her was supposed to be a secret?
今この時ほど、この言葉の意味するものを大きく、そして重く感じることはありません。このままでは誠恩師たちに合わせる顔がありません。されど私も愚かな弟子のそしりに甘んじるつもりはありませんゆえ、今しばらくこらえてくださいませんか。
はい。
そなたに心よりの感謝を。
If General Ayumina was Her Highness's instructor, then there's a chance she knows about his relationship with Captain Sagiri. Would that mean she knows about Captain Sagiri's relationship with Ayumina too? Her Highness did seem to be gazing pretty intently at Ayumina. Just how much does she know? Well, whatever. No point speculating about things Her Highness might have left unsaid. For all I know, she could have been staring at her like that just to try to gauge her reactions. I mean, it's not exactly easy to read after all.
白金訓練兵。
Ma'am.
成り行き上そなたとは存分に言葉を交わせましたゆえ、ここで多くを語るのはせんないことでしょう。
Ma'am.
されど改めてこれだけは言わせてください。
What is it?
そなたに心よりの感謝を。
Ah, Her Highness clasped my hands in hers. She has such small, delicate hands, and yet they feel like they're encompassing my entire being. I shouldn't be able to feel them through my fortified suit, and you'd think they'd be freezing cold in this weather, and yet somehow they make me feel incredibly warm. Is she just overwhelming me with her sheer dignity? Am I actually feeling awe? Even though I'm not from this world's Japan?
白金、そなたが何がしかの答えを得る手がかりになると良いのですが。
This girl better not die. Huh? What does she mean by that? And we never finished our conversation from earlier either. Is she saying that I'll have to figure out the rest for myself? So after all that, she's still not going to say anything to Maya, huh? I know everyone she's on patrol, but refusing to even look in her direction is a bit much, don't you think? Not that Maya so much as glanced at Her Highnesses either, of course. They really are incredible. I guess a little awe is probably justified in retrospect. I know they don't want everyone finding out that the Shogun has a twin sister, but this is the first time they've been anywhere near each other since childhood, right? So, they're always so concerned about one another, and they might never have a chance like this again. And they're not even gonna make eye contact? Couldn't they just, I don't know, pretend to not know each other or something? Is there really no way for them to get what they both wanted for so long? How's that even possible when they look alike?
さて、アメリカ軍並びに国連軍英士の皆様、今しばらくお時間をいただくことをお許しください。
I get that tradition's important, and I get that Maya's entire purpose in life is to serve as the Shogun's body double, but I mean, given the situation, can't they at least make one exception just this once?
長きにわたるベータとの戦い、そして好転しない戦局に我が国民の心は疲弊し蝕まれつつあります。されど今の私の力ではそれを癒すことすら叶いません。天津さえ皆様の多大な尽力を得ながら足手まといとなる始末、我が身の至らなさ未熟さを痛感しております。それでも私は民を守りたい。民の心にある魂を、国を守りたいのです。
Hey, that's...
私が守りたいのは人々だ。人々の心を、日本人のその魂を、志を守りたいのだ。古より脈々と受け継がれてきた心をな。
I see.
国とは、日本とはそういったものを指すのだと思う。人のいない国はないのだから。
I think I understand. When I think about a country, I usually just boil it down to the country's government. But Maya sees things totally differently. Oh, I think I get it now. Is that why you said that old woman was important to you?
そうだ。私にはこの国の民すべてが大切な存在なのだ。
That's just like what Maya said to me when we went to save that old woman in Mount Tegan.
私と同じくこの思いは全ての人が持っているに違いない。私はそう信じています。決起に走った者たちはその思いが強すぎたのでしょう。思いが強く純粋であるがゆえに立ち上がらざるを得なかったのです。確かにかの者たちは腹からを殺めるという重い罪を犯しました。いずれその罪は法によって裁かれ、相応の報いを受けることになりましょう。されど、どうかかの者たちの息だけは宥助していただきたいのです。本来その責めを負うべきはこの私なのですから。私は
箱根からこの場所に至る道程において皆様の思いや決意痛切に感じ入りました。立場を意にする皆様が各々の信ずる者のために戦場に身を置くことは人類の存亡をかけた戦いにおいて尊い行いでありましょう。されど人と人とが相争い骨肉相はむこの戦場ではその尊さも色あせ空虚なものでしかありません。もうこれ以上この状況を看過するわけには参りません。
Huh?
まして私ごときのために人類の守りたる者たちが奇跡にいるなど断じてまかりなりません。
Your Highness.
私が自ら決起した者たちを説得してまいります。
Huh? That's insane. We might as well just serve her to Captain Sagiri as on a silver platter. That would be throwing all of our hard work and sacrifices so far out the window. We're surrounded and we got no idea what kind of reinforcements we can expect, if any. Hell, if the situation doesn't improve, who knows if we'll even get Her Highness out of this one piece.
恐れながら殿下、その提案には賛同いたしかねます。無礼を承知で言わせていただきますが、到底正気の沙汰とは思えません。
少佐、口を慎まれよ。
良いつくよみ。少佐のお立場であれば至極もっともであろう。
殿下、旧下田はもうすぐです。何卒。
Yeah, no shit, the Major's not just gonna go along with this. If Her Highness ends up in Captain Sagiri's hands, then America's excuse for intervening would be null and void. Not to mention that it would be downright embarrassing. Excuse me. The odds might be stacked against him in every regard, but giving up without a fight would still be viewed as a complete blunder on the Major's part. And of course, if this operation were to fail, all the American lives lost here would have been in vain. But wait, hang on a minute. On the other hand, Her Highness' idea could be a reasonable way to put an end to this conflict without letting any more lives go to waste. The rebel force's top priority is to receive Her Highness' favor and to have her condone the rebellion. But since they killed the Prime Minister and several other cabinet members, all of whom were loyal to the Shogun, the capital's gone up in arms. Surely they recognize that just capturing Her Highness won't negate all their problems. I wonder, does Captain Sagiri even know that he's being used as a pawn by the anti-alternative forces and Alternative 5 supporters? Or maybe he does know, and chose to take advantage of their mutual interest to further his own objective? No matter how this happened, Captain Sagiri should still feel responsible for creating this situation. That's why he came all the way out here in person. So if we saw Her Highness in front of him, he might not want to start another fight. If Her Highness tells them to surrender, there's a good chance they actually would. It's also possible that the captain would lose it and try to kidnap Her Highness. But if he did that, then he really would be nothing more than a traitor. That's exactly what the government and the military are hoping he'll do. Even if Her Highness does fall into their hands, she'd never approve of their actions, not in this situation. Which means the worst case scenario would be the captain killing the Shogun himself. That or, what if they demand something of her that goes completely against all of their morals, and she chooses death?
すべての者たちの望みを満たす道が常にそなたの前にあるとは限りません。その時何によって決断し、どのような道をかの者たちに指し示すのか。その時迷いがあったなら原点を顧みること、立ち止まる勇気を持つのです。そして自らの手を汚すことを厭うてはならないのです。そなたが何がしかの答えを得る手がかりになると良いのですが。
Wait a second. Don't tell me this is what she meant by not hesitating to bloody your own hands. Is this what she hoped would help guide me to the answer I seek? No, hang on. What if she literally intends to get blood on her hands?
心配はいりません。操縦の心得は多少あります。飾りとはいえ、軍の最高司令官なのですからね。
Could she be planning to strike down Captain Sagiri herself?
では尋ねる。つくよみ注意。君は将軍を直営する任務を与えられた近衛軍の士官として、 殿下のご提案を是認できるのかね。
私は殿下のご意志に賛同申し上げます。
注意、血迷ったか。
かの者たちは殿下を案じて決起した次第。どうして殿下に対し弓引くような真似ができましょうか。
すでに奴らは自らの主張を翻し、帝都で先端を開き、殿下と民間人を危険にさらしている。ここに及んで志を貫く保証などどこにもない。
ではこの休戦の成立はいかに。殿下の奪取を目的とした歩兵部隊など未だ現れておりませんが。
この休戦は奴らにとっては手段だ、目的ではない。目的である殿下を目の前にして何もしないなどと、エアボーン強襲という狂気を平然と実行するような連中の覚悟を侮るな。
お言葉ですが、かの者を侮っておられるのは少佐です。
私が侮っているだと。
職業軍人である少佐にあの空挺を狂気としか理解できないことは致し方ありません。されど恐れ多くも殿下のご尊命において。
その話はもういい。君に意見を求めた私が間違ってい
た。あくまでも殿下のご意志は没却されるおつもりか。
注意、君には残念なことだろうが、私は日本帝国の軍人ではなくアメリカの軍人だ。もっと悪いことにこの部隊の指揮官でもあるそして私に与えられた任務は殿下を無事に横浜基地までお連れすることだ。はっきり言おう。協力するなら同行を認める。邪魔になるようであれば排除する。
ではただいまここでそのようになさるがよい。
Seriously, guys, can't you give it a rest already? Now's not the time to be fighting amongst ourselves.
つくよみ、下がりなさい。それ以上はなりません。少佐、進化の無礼、平にご容赦を。そなたのお立場もご意見も重々心得ております。
は、恐れ入ります。
されどこたびのよし、承認を求めているのではありませんゆえ、そなたに従うことかないません。どうか許すがよい。
殿下。
つくよみ、竹三和氏をもて。
はは。
Oh god, she's really planning to do this herself.
お待ちください。
Oh, finally, thank goodness. Maya.
何事だ訓練兵。勝手に持ち場を離れるな。
Maya's walking right up to Her Highness. This is the first time they've seen each other since they were separated at birth. It's the first time they've been able to meet face to face, and to think this wouldn't even be happening if things hadn't gone so out of hand.
そなたは
国連太平洋方面第11軍第 207A 市訓練部隊所属三剣名也訓練兵であります。殿下、ご尊厳を拝し立て祭り強越至極に存じます。
One way or another, they finally got an excuse to see each other. Whatever the circumstances, this should be a moment worth savoring.
こたびの件における殿下のご心痛のほど、私ごときには察することもできぬ深いものでございましょう。
But Maya seems determined not to look up at her. Is that part of the tradition too? They can't even look at each other in the eye?
そして殿下の先ほどのご提案、それが民草への限りなき慈愛とご配慮にあふれたものであることは疑うべくもございませんが、しかし恐れながら元凶を鑑みますに、少佐殿にも一部の利があるのではないかと召喚は示威いたします。これ以上の無益な流血を避け、一刻も早い事態の収拾を図るためには、総国を乗り越え全部隊が一致団結することこそが肝要と存じます。
それは十分存じております。
では無礼を承知でご提案申し上げます。
申すがよい。
は、決起せし者たちを説得する大任、この私めに拝命賜りたいと存じます。
Why am I not surprised she was gonna volunteer herself? Because they're twins.
誠に恐れ多いことではございますが、私は常日頃より殿下に生き写しとの声明を馳せております。お召し物を拝借するご無礼をお許しいただけるなら、おそらくかの者たちに看破される恐れはないと存じます。